Our next interview is bringing some good vibrations to Tech Check. Our Julia Boyrston joins us this morning with a very, very special guest. Hi, Julia.
Thanks so much, Carl. I'm joined now by Mark Wahlberg, actor, producer, entrepreneur. Mark, thanks so much for joining us ahead of your movie Father Stu, which you produce as well as star in, and also helped co-finance. That movie opens on Wednesday. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
We are great. We're very curious to see your movie, but also curious to hear a little bit about your decision to distribute this movie via Sony in a traditional release model. It's going to be exclusively in theaters. Why does that make sense for this film rather than going to a streamer or doing something different?
This film has to be seen in a theater with an audience. To see people laughing and crying and cheering. It's definitely made for the theatrical experience for sure. I remember because of the pandemic, I hadn't been in the theater for well over a year. And to see the movie play with a really wide audience for the first time was absolutely amazing. I've never had a reaction to a film like this in my entire career. The big question should be,
well, this is a faith-based.
Why would I break the cardinal rule and finance a film myself?
Yes, I guess that is a question. It is also a faith-based movie. You, of course, have starred in dozens and dozens of more traditional Hollywood films, and faith-based movies are seen as having a more narrow audience. Do you think you can bring your fan base from movies like Uncharted to this film?
We are definitely trying to reach the widest audience possible. This movie, it falls under the faith-based umbrella because Stu's ultimate decision to go into the priesthood, he's like the least likely person to ever go into the priesthood. But that being said, it really is, it's like a traditional biopic. It's an amazing journey of this guy really trying to find his purpose in life. And, this is the kind of film that you really have to do it independently anyway. I didn't want any interference when it came to the creative. I really wanted to tell the story in the most kind of raw and unapologetic way. And the movie also is rated R, and not a lot of faith-based movies are rated R.
Indeed. But so this decision to finance this movie and take on that risk, what does it say about what you're thinking of doing next? Can we expect you to invest more in this faith-based genre? Are you going to keep on acting and producing in these kinds of films?
I'm putting my money where my faith is for sure. And, I think making movies like this that are really inspiring, and hopefully other stories will come to me. Whether these are things that I act in or not, I'm definitely headed in that direction where I want to make more faith-based content.
I think we talked about this a little bit off camera last time you were down here at the Stock Exchange, and congratulations on getting this done. You're no stranger to investing, period, or entrepreneurship or risk. And I'm wondering how it's different in the filmmaking business when so much hard work happens before the sale, so to speak.
Yeah, this was definitely a labor of love for everybody involved. But I think these are the kind of movies that people really need right now. These are the kind of movies that I think are encouraging people to come together again. And so there's lots of good can come from this film. So I'm really excited about it.
Mark, morning. It's John Fort. I'm curious about you as a creator. You came onto the scene with music. You've done movies, all kinds of other businesses, restaurants, dealerships, etc. What's the role of technology for you as a creator and for you as an entrepreneur? How are you using it? In what ways does it have the potential to both make your businesses better and make them more known as you market them in this social media era?
Yeah, I'm still kind of learning my way around tech. Thankfully, I have a 12-year-old daughter to kind of get me up to speed with everything new and exciting in the world. But I do really rely on her in a lot of ways. And for us, obviously, just keeping everybody in communication, and being able to recognize when there's real opportunity there, because there's so much synergy between all the different business interests. It's just a matter of how we execute.
What impact have you seen on the restaurant industry and your business there? As we've been going through this pandemic, we've seen inflation and price spikes, and definitely restaurants have had to think differently about just how they get food to people. Do you lean into delivery and these apps and these checkout software suites that are, I'm sure, trying to sell you all kinds of product. Do you find that beneficial?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all of our restaurants were closed down. All of our F45 studios were closed down. But thankfully, we've rebounded pretty well. But, I think people are going to want, my brother was such a purist. He wanted everybody to come in and he wanted to make the burger himself. We wanted people to experience Wahlburgers when they want and where they want. So now with our at home, we have not only retail beef, but a bunch of other products that we make available at home. So I think, we've done a lot with delivery and stuff like that. But, we want people to obviously come to the restaurant and have that sort of experience that we provide, getting the food as fresh as possible. And just all the other content and all the other things that we provide as a business that a lot of other people don't do with the celebrity component.
Mark, to apply that question more broadly to the rest of your businesses, as you think about the reopening, what the future of business looks like post-COVID, now, of course, we have the challenge of inflation and things like that, but what's your expectation about people getting back to their lives? I mean, you're betting on people getting back to movie theaters, but do you think people are going to be going back to gyms in the same way or just returning to restaurants? What does the future look like?
I'm optimistic that people will go back. You kind of need that experience, right? You want to go to a concert, you want to go to a movie theater, you want to go to a restaurant, you want to go to a sporting event, all of those things. If you'd have told me that it was going to be this long, I would have told you were crazy. But obviously, there was no real predicting how long, the pandemic would affect people. And of course, now with supply chain and everything else, it's become pretty difficult.
Yeah, certainly. One thing that has seemed to have grown dramatically, though, is this streaming business. Just today we have the merger of Warner Brothers and Discovery. They're going to be combining their streaming services. We have Disney and Netflix investing more and more in streaming. You are still betting on movie theaters, but what about all the opportunity there? Are you interested in working more with the streamers?
I've made 2 films with Netflix. I'm about to make another film with Netflix. I completely appreciate that. But I just think certain films, for me, I'm going to want to always focus on the theatrical experience.